Hello there. How are you? Welcome along to the Rush Lunch Band Show. Welcome to my channel. Please like, please subscribe, and be kind. I don't ask for much, Rush, but kindness will get you further in this life than if you're a massive bellend.
I know, but also you get some people these days, and I'm like, how are they Muppets made it so far in life, and they're just horrible little bastards?
Who are you talking
But
about?
that's not a still be nice. That's all I'm saying.
It's tough out there, isn't it? It's tough out here when you're getting slated. I actually saw you getting slated on TikTok the other day.
What did you say? By the way, your top is lovely colour, Cassim, but lovely
Thanks,
colour. Yeah, I
Is it
like
a bit?
that. Uh-huh.
Is it a bit? Because that is see-through. Well, that is.
That's
So I don't know if I
fine.
should have a little vest on, but I'm not in the workplace, so it should be okay.
That's fine. Who's slaughtering me? Because I'll fucking give them it, Cass. I've had a good few days, Cassim, on when you'd put up a TikTok, and then I'd looked at the comments and I had a wee giggle at some people, because some people are fucking not all there. And I'm like, I was actually really kind in my reply, but there was this one guy, right, and he was like, see the picture of like his daughter or a young girl and his profile picture with him, and I kind of was like, oh, that's and then he wrote back, yeah, inspiring her to have an opinion. And I'm like, so you think inspiring is jumping into someone's comments and slaughtering them? That's inspiring? I'm like, you fucking bellend. Honestly, you absolute, don't get me started, but I would have a great day just being a nasty little bastard, people. And I think I'm going to start doing it, because I'm like, well, at least it's engagement, and you get the trolls on, the trolls come on and troll, and they'll just help promote videos and push the numbers, so fit them. Use them for what they're worth.
Do you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, you shouldn't give it airtime. Like, let's talk about Ange Postecoglou winning the Europa League before I talk about my thoughts on the Champions League final and Arsenal. But I mean, for Ange Postecoglou, Rush, I think because we're Celtic, you have such an affiliation and such a love for somebody who comes to your club and brings happiness and success, right? And Ange had that at Celtic. And okay, he might not have done everything on everybody's doorsteps, but people undermine the fact that he's an incredibly successful manager. And I think people who go out of their way to get hate incited, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I think you learn a lot as you go on, and then when you're in a position, you realise that actually just not being a bellend is probably the best way to be. But I actually love that he sat down in that press conference the other day and went, and I'm not a clown. Irrespective of what happens, I am not a clown, and I'm disappointed that you would use that language. And I think language and everything is so important. And social media, all etiquette goes out the window. People say what they want. So you can't use it to kind of, let it hold you back. It is anything goes in that platform, and fuck the haters, keep going.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even seeing that, when you think, how do people think that's actually an all right thing to say? Like, so if you fail, you don't win, you're a clown. Do you know what I mean? Like, who are you to say that to some? Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit like mental when you actually think of it. But I thought Ange spoke very well and put the guy in his place. And but just like, I don't know, just some people in the press and media do that because they're like, this is edgy, but I'll get a reaction, so it's my job done because I'll get the views and get the hits. Or I don't know. Or was it actually just, has he actually just said that and not really thought about the sort of deeper level of the meaning of it? Do you know what I mean? That's why at times when we're discussing stuff and understanding in football, you have to be a little bit careful with how you speak about people. But when it comes to like analysing a performance, you've got to then be like, this is my opinion, and it doesn't mean that I think you are a horrible person or a terrible player. So it's hard, and then you can see how like sometimes lines get a bit blurred, and it's a hard gig to do when you're maybe talking about stuff. But I think some stuff people go on and it's like the wording and what they use, you're like, surely to a person that's probably quite hurtful or very disrespectful. But
Do you know, you said something to me a few years ago. It was when I started doing YouTube, and where I'm being trained in YouTube is, you have to put in a punchy title. You have to get your title right, because in will come more people to look. And funnily enough, I look back at maybe titles that I wouldn't do now. I wouldn't put it in a headline, because you said to me, always remember not to put something in a headline that would hurt somebody's mum. I remember you said that, and I was like, oh yeah, why would you say something about someone with their own mum would look at that and go, that's my child you're talking about? And I think if anybody, even though I love Ange, and I did not like that headline either that the journalist had written. If anybody said that about one of your own people, or somebody who you love, you'd be hurt for them. So I think, why do it about anyone else? Because somebody is going to be hurt in the process. And I look at the comment you're talking about. I look at the comments that I get. I thought TikTok was meant to be a nice place. Fuck me, man. I'm getting it tight there at the minute. And it's just another platform to get used to. I love TikTok, and I want to be doing content and whatever like that. It's part of the job. It's part of the life. It works for you. But with it comes just hate. I am getting slaughtered. But I'm actually at the point where I'm like, I can't please you anyway, so who cares? Who cares? But what your point is stands. If you've got a wee girl in that picture with you, a grown man, and a grown man one day says that something like that, what you've said to me, to your wee girl, better believe it's going to hurt your feelings, because that is just an individual person. Not only that, she's probably the love of your life, your daughter. You'll never love anyone as much as you love that wee girl, but you're still big enough and ugly enough to go and have a go at somebody else's girl, and I just think it's fucking sad, and it is the world that we're in, and the more we talk about it, the worse it gets. So fuck it, we've just got to keep going.
Yeah, that's it. God, I really do inspire myself with these words of wisdoms that I drop out now and then. I'm a fountain of
bullshit,
love. Aye. But it's nuts, but that's the only thing. I think when you're growing and you're in this industry, you have to have a thick skin just to crack on and deal with it, because it ain't getting better. And for whatever reason, you can either stop and let it derail you and throw you off the path that you want to go on. But I'm like, you either have just to suck it up. You don't drop to their level. You can reply back and have a bit of banter. But it's you're never going to be that person that goes out and, do you know what I mean? So you don't stand for it, but don't let it get in your way. And you keep going and try to grow your platform, because it's you don't do this you don't do it because you're like, oh, I got a follower, or that. You do it because you like it, but you want to grow your channel, because with growing your channel comes the rewards and comes success, and might come money and stuff like that, work opportunities. It's not do you know what I mean? But it's your community, so you want to grow your community, but with it you get some absolute freaks along the way. But that's it, kind of block them out and crack on. But I do think I'm going to go into good banter mode with engaging with some people, because some of the ones, especially on the channel, on your channel, because you're probably very heavily dominated with fans that maybe come over from TalkSport, where it's maybe an older generation of people and viewers, but some of their opinions crack me up. So I think I'll have a good bit of fun with them, just slaughtering them, because nobody's going to come at me and win, idiots. So it's fun.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't take anybody's criticism if you're not going to ask them for advice, right? So that's one thing. But also, so many negative comments are the reason why people don't push to try and achieve, because they're so worried what people think about them. Believe in yourself, stick to what you're doing, be passionate, work hard. And honestly, the people who want to try and drag you down, let them try. You've got to focus on doing your best for yourself. You see it a lot now in women's football, and I don't know if you've followed this Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark beef out in the US. Have you seen this going around on TikTok?
I don't really know it, no.
The basketball stuff. I mean, the hate that these girls are getting. It's like, oh, but in a way, I think it's part of that. They're in the generation where they're on TikTok. Their speech is free. If the day that a WSL player sits in a presser and goes for another WSL player, the way these two are going at each other, is the day that I just fucking die happy because I'll piss my pants laughing. I think it'll be good for the league. I think it'll get everybody talking. I mean, if you'd be absolutely perfect, do you know what I mean? To sit there and just run your mouth in a press conference about somebody in football who you clash with. So they might have a clash on the pitch. Jesus, like, it's like taking you back to the World Cup, right? And a presser, somebody asking you about it. And out come these girls are just honest. They're asked about their beef on the court, and you should hear the shit they're saying to each other. It's so funny. Like Caitlin Clark's in her ear, like, what's your favourite Marvel movie and why she would be this superhero? And then Angel Reese is giving it back about how bad she is or whatever. And then I think somebody's breath smelling came into it. And they'll then get on the press conference and tell the journalists about their exchanges with each other. And I'm like, that's banter. Like, that is so funny. But at the same time, they're highly competitive, brilliant athletes who are, well, Caitlin Clark's one of the best, like one of the top 5, I think, NBA, including men's basketball league. You know, she's absolutely huge. And just the way that the heat that you get off the back of having an opinion, it is the way it is. You know, it's just, if you have an opinion, everyone else is entitled to theirs. Where is it they're just calling you shit or ugly or this or that? Who cares? You're still going to have to channel on and do you. You need to look up this beef. You'd love it.
I'll have a look after this. But excuse me, I put a Suver in my mouth, wrong timing. But that's where I'm like, in America, do you not think that's where there's a bit of like, they do that? We've touched on that before, but it's like, that's entertainment. Like when you look at all the sports around the world, that's entertainment. So it's like, they know it's going to be good for the drama. They know the whole thing is like, it's great for that game. And then you've got the players individually going, right, I need to step up and maybe deliver here. They've got that pressure, but it's like, it's good for the fans, that kind of stuff. That's from like, but here are like, if you look at like in England, in the UK, Ireland, everything's very much like, you have to be like this. It has to be this way. But when you look at America, everything's on this big gram. It's entertainment and all that. So I know there's the whole argument about like social media and people get like, a player goes out after they get beat and people are like, oh, how dare she went out. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Sit in the room and cry? Fuck off. Like, go out and live it. It's done. You move forward. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, people want to suit these narratives, but I'm kind of like, I like the way now. I wouldn't have been fond of it. Ask me that maybe a good few years back. I'd have been like, meh. And I'm like, it actually makes sense because it's entertainment and it brings value and more to, oh my God, my lights went out. Nightmare. It brings more to the drama. Do you know what I mean? So I'm all for it. I think it's good, but
yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I think if I don't know, for talking sake, Alessia Russo, everyone knows that Alessia Russo and Ella Toone are best friends, but just imagine one day they were best enemies, right? And they're sitting in press conferences, just having it out with their own club press conferences and sharing that information. I mean, it's probably never going to happen because you're right. I mean, Jesus, everything's so protected over here and everyone's fucking best friends. And, you know, no one's allowed to say anything. Otherwise you're unfollowed on Instagram. Ooh, got me. You know, it's just that's so different over there. And I find it really refreshing. I mean, some of it's pure vitriolic and disgusting the way people can get, but the fact that they're sitting sharing their own experiences of what's going on with each other and creating like an atmosphere and creating a rivalry, I think it's like just good fun. Like, you know, that is part of sport. Not everyone is there to be best friends. Like we knew Roy Keane hated Patrick Vieira. We know that these exist. We know that is it ice hockey, they're actually allowed to fight each other. You know, you've got to look at rugby. They actually go into battle with each other. They actually fight each other. And then in football, you know, somebody like puts somebody's head on someone's arm and it's like, right, red card, that's unacceptable. And then that's it. You're banned from press conferences for the next month because God forbid you're asked about that. What an actual real experience. Like I quite enjoy now when people are just genuine with their opinion and authentic, and it's just so protected in women's football.
Like me, authentic. All this media training piss, you don't need it, man. It's overrated because then but that's what I do. Like players are scared to give opinions on stuff because they might get backlash. Do you know what I mean? It's like, or the club might not be happy, or the press officer might be a bit like, I'm just like, just say it how you feel. Like, just go for it. I liked it. Imagine me being media trained. How boring would that be? Anyway,
Yeah.
who was slagging me? What was being said about me? Who was giving me it?
Just some gimp on TikTok had started a thread about you being unprofessional because you'd said that you wanted to go to the Champions League and miss one of your games. But like, honestly, who wouldn't?
What? I know. I'd love to be watching the Champions League final. I think everyone that likes football would like to be watching the Champions League final. I had work to go to there, Cass. I turned it down to go to my game. I don't play in a professional league. But I'm going to play football because that's why I'm here, to play football. But yeah, gutted, exactly. I'm actually missing it. It's like when there's a big Celtic game on and you've got a game you can't see it, but you go, right, that's not my football. This is women's football, and it's like the major event in women's football. And I've actually been like, oh, I'd have loved to be there. Me and Lucy could have went. Me and you could have went. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had opportunities to go and work and do what we're doing. And you get to see the best team. Like, Arsenal have got there. Amazing. Like, that'd be great to see them playing there. But you've got Barcelona. Like, right now, currently, you think the best team in women's football on the planet. So you're like, that would be great to go and see that. But now I'm going, it's fine. I've got football and we've got the Euros. And I'm going to get plenty of the Euros games to watch and take in and be a part of and maybe do some work for. So
absolutely, Cass.
You're a wee gimp. Come at me and I'll slaughter you and all, you fucking freak.
Honestly, so sometimes I do see these TikToks and I'm like, that person's not well though. Like, that person's not, maybe they're just not fully well. So like, it's okay. Don't let it get under your skin. But I just stumbled across it yesterday. And then once you get that algorithm, your TikTok's like, you want this, you want that. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want that person. Fuck off.
I know at Ireland, though, one of the media girls deletes a lot of stuff. So I don't see a lot of stuff that, if there would be like a thread of me getting slaughtered or whatever, or I think anyone of us, not just me, like anyone, she kind of just gets it gone.
That's nice.
So you don't need to see it.
A wee bit. Right, Cass, here goes. Champions League final. At Cass, I'm starting to think they're going to win it. I think Arsenal are going to come home with a trophy. Do they get a trophy parade?
Do you know what? Sorry, on that, I just seen a clip there and it was Emma Byrne speaking about it, and I was like, she's got on my head a wee bit, because we'd spoken previously about this and I was like, I've said this on a few things actually, I don't think Arsenal can go toe to toe with Barcelona, because I think Barcelona have been there before. They know the everything that comes along with the final. Like, Arsenal haven't had the taste of that since 18 years. No one's playing since 18 years ago. So they're all going into this Champions League final to go head to head with Barcelona, who they've not played in like 4 or 5 years. And Barcelona in that time have became world beaters. So I'm like, I just don't know how they can go toe-to-toe with them. But I heard Emma Byrne being like, Arsenal have got to the final by playing how they play. They've overturned results. They've wiped teams off the floor in the end, like Madrid and Lyon, by doing what they do. And I'm like, I totally get that, respect that. And it makes sense. But I'm also like, I just don't know if you can go that aggressive against the Barca team. And I get like Barcelona will have weaknesses, but I'm just like, they are so good. So I just feel like you've got to stay in the game and not get at it too early. Obviously, you have your pressing moments, your goal kicks, throw-ins, free kicks, higher up the pitch, go get at them there. But then I'm just like, I feel like if they go too soon and get stretched, we've seen how good Barcelona are, just sucking teams in and playing it around them, and they're gone, goal. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just a bit like, oh, interesting, but look, it's going to be a great game. And what did you say there, sorry? You just said...
Arsenal win. Do they get the trophy parade?
The parade? Aye, of course. I mean, it's massive now. You've seen the way how big and how far women's football has came in the last X amount of years, and to not give them that opportunity, it wouldn't make sense, because Arsenal would be doing it with the lads had they got to the final and won a final. It would be happening. They'd done a joint win if Arsenal win. So I think they've got to give them some kind of thing, if it's a trophy, if it's a parade or whatever it looks like. But they'll definitely celebrate it, I'm sure.
I mean, the thing is, you get to a final, I think the celebrations have probably happened that they got to the final. It's a huge achievement. You know, they probably celebrated that as a team, you would think. I mean, it was their biggest performance, really, of the season until the actual final. However, I think you're right what you mentioned there about Arsenal, and the one thing that you can just give nothing but credit to for that club, and the women might look and say we're still a wee bit away from complete equality, is that they are absolutely one club. you know, and that's one thing I thoroughly enjoy about how their growth has happened. Okay, they've won the Champions League. They won it 18 years ago. In 2007, they won the quadruple that year. And you look at the players in that team, like, you're right. I mean, what is the better Arsenal side? The side that won it in 2007, the side that could win it tomorrow. But I just think the idea of them beating Barcelona, it's far-fetched, but it's possible. It's a one-off game. Of them returning in a trophy parade for Arsenal could be an actual highlight for Arsenal fans, men's fans, this season, you know, because they've been otherwise quite a disappointment.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. You've seen, though, with the Emirates and the attendances like the women are getting at their games, you've got supporters of Arsenal men's team now coming and supporting the women, so they do have that kind of, yes, you'll still get some maybe older ones that aren't interested and they want to fob it off, but I do think now when you're even seeing the younger generation, they go, you know, they just respect people that can play football and want to be entertained. So, look, Arsenal have got to a final, so I think the whole of the Arsenal community will be behind them. Do you know what I mean? And rightly so, that's the way it should be. But Arsenal have definitely really set the benchmark, especially in the WSL and maybe, like possibly, obviously around the world right now. And Europe, the world, like with how they are doing it. And we've spoke about this for a while, and we praise when praise is due. Like they're smashing it on that front. And now that's it. The women had to deliver and do something. They've obviously failed in the cups, failed in the league. They've got a Champions League final, so they've got everything to play for. And yeah, wish them good luck, man. What an occasion. I mean, imagine being part of that, getting to go and you're playing in the Champions League final. Yes, we see the likes of maybe Barcelona and Lyon. They do it on the reg. Like that, to them, it's a bit normal. Arsenal, it's not normal. Yes, 18 years ago. When was it?
So
how long ago that was? Right, so you're going up. Right, well, so X amount of years ago, sorry, when that was, and now you're going, the girls have got an opportunity to go do that now with some amazing players. You look, people that I'm really happy for, you've got to go, I look at the likes of Kim Little, and I'm just like, she's gone under the radar because she's not a big out there on any kind of media platforms and whatever. She just gets her head down, keeps herself to herself. She dominated as a child, the Scottish League. She then went down to Arsenal in the early days, before it was WSL or whatever. She's playing with the likes of a lot of the legends that actually won the Champions League back in the day. She dominated there. She went to America and dominated America. So you've got all these legends of the game being like, oh, Kim Little is a joke, Kim Little is a goat. She's still doing it, and now she's got her rewards and she's got to a Champions League final. And you just hope for like the likes of Kim and stuff. I'm like, she's been through it all. Like, she's seen the change in the growth of the game, and she's obviously been a massive part in Arsenal getting to where they are now, on and off the pitch. So it'd be something like that. You'd be like, that would be unbelievable to see a Kim Little lift the Champions League trophy. But she's got there, and I'm sure she'll be really proud. But there's stuff like that where you're looking, you go, oh, you wish them good luck. Obviously, a lot of other players too. So yeah, it's going to be a great game. But guess what, Cass? I'll see none of it.
We'll make sure we update you, but you're right to mention Kim, because we saw when they qualified obviously for the final and they beat Lyon, and the clips going around of Kim speaking to the media, you could tell she was a little bit, you know, she said it to, I think it was Karen Carney did the interview with her the other day, and she said that the emotions did kind of get her. It was Leah Volti who went over to her and said, look, you know, you've done it. You know, you've made it to a major final. And she said the emotions got to her for a minute, and then she went, right, park that, focus again. And she's so, like, we've known Kim since, how old were you? How old were you when you first met Kim?
I don't know, maybe 13 or 14, under 15 schoolgirls or something like that. Mm-hmm.
You know, all of those years, she has maintained the utmost professional, never wavered, never changed as a human being, apart from just got better and better and better. So I actually, because I'm a walking, talking hormone, was thinking about Kim last night. Sounds weird, not like that. I find myself going, I think I've seen our mum in town and our dad in town. Haven't seen them all over these years, be it at Scotland, when you were at Scotland Youth with her, being at Arsenal maybe 10 years ago, you know, coming back to the WSL. And I just think now they're going to watch her play in that final. And there is a very, very real possibility that they win it. that it's a one-off game, and okay, they were able to maintain their run in the final because they were able to come back. They had second legs to get the better of teams, and they rose to that occasion. But definitely the pressure works well for this team. It brings out the best of them. And Kim Little has been the centerpiece of that team, the mainstay, since 2008, the year after Arsenal women won the Champions League in its old format. And I think, could it be that Arsenal knock Barcelona off their peg? And it would be fucking brilliant. Cass, I'll be at that open top bus parade with my... Cass, I don't care. I'll wear anyone's Arsenal shirt to that bus parade, and you will take it in for human beings like that, proper, true footballers who've changed the game for the better and never put one fucking post on social media about it. Kim Little, you're a champion. Whether you win or not, what a champion she is.
Yeah, she is. I genuinely think with Kim, like I touched on, the game had to catch up with Kim in a way, because wherever Kim went, she dominated, but it's almost like she had people around then had to try and catch up to her levels. Like, so if it was back in the day when she was younger, she was obviously quality, technically good and all that, but she had this like fitness level above everyone else. So it was like people had to catch up with that. And it's almost like anywhere she's went, people have had to raise their standards to try and get near Kim. I know you look at the WSL and I'm like, the WSL's in a very good place. But I'm almost like, Kim was the one that made people raise the bar. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I would look at that, and that's how I'd feel about that. Obviously Kim probably learned a lot from me, from being a top professional and a role model. So definitely, it's good that she maybe experienced me being around her for a short time. But look, yeah, may the best win. And you're right, like a final is a final. That's the thing. But now Arsenal don't have a chance to have a second leg, so they really have to come out all guns blazing, or their second half is their second leg. Do you know what I mean? But may the best team win. I still think, I get it. It's a final, and you've got to go in with that mentality. We're going to win. You've got to believe and respect your opposition, but know that we can win this too. But I just think Barcelona had been there. It's almost like I feel like Arsenal would have to get a taste and then again have their second leg to play Barcelona again. But I just feel like the final, I think Barcelona, they're there, they're ready. They'll be looking forward to playing Arsenal, someone different, and going, right, okay, we've seen what you're about. And they will know we want to make this our day. And I feel like Barcelona are just going to have the experience and the edge on Arsenal. So I'm still going to stand with a Barcelona win. But hopefully it's a competitive game. Yeah,
brilliant. Listen, enjoy your game tomorrow, Cass. I hope it goes well. And I'm sure we'll be reacting to whatever happens at some point very, very soon. But Cass, good luck. And we know you've got plenty of Arsenal memorabilia anyway.
Have the